Welcome to the Barry Charles Footy Show, your one-stop shop for everything rugby league. And we've got an absolute ripper for you today. Obviously, the Latrell Mitchell fallout continues with Rod Churchill saga. We've got the son of the great Clive Churchill's reports, who leaked it, the Roosters maybe. Bulldogs player walks out on club and likely not to return. JWH got what he deserved. Josh Papali'i's season's done. And everybody in the NRL, well, about 5 teams have rested half their squad. Let's get to it here at the Barry Charles Footy Show. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the video. Let's get to it. Yes, Rod Churchill absolutely gave it to Latrell Mitchell via text to many Roosters players and Roosters officials. And he has late now apologised for it. Absolute foul comments. I know Latrell Mitchell was not playing great football, but to go to that extent is absolute craziness. But the ramification, will this steal the Rabbitohs for a big game on Friday, or will this season be done? In a must-win game, no Latrell Mitchell. Blake Taaffe comes in, gets his chance against Sammy Walker. It's going to be an interesting. But in terms of that infighting, who really cares? It's only a son of a great legend, not a player. So it's not really much news to be fact. Bulldogs, that's where the news is. Yes, one of the top 30 players walks out on the club after being punished for doing extra wrestling drills when you're wrestling against 12 different players. Well, I saw a bit of that. If you go back in the day with Matthew Rich, there's a show that he did when he first moved from the All Blacks to play league in Manly, and that they were doing wrestling drills back then, and he was taking on players from different players, wrestling drills, getting toughened up, as they say. It's an interesting world we're in, because you got some old school type coaches in there. Cameron Ciraldo obviously is old school, like Michael Maguire and that. They go harder training, and some players are clearly not used to it and think it's out of the legal rights. And I think that's the problem we have this day and age, because there's a bit of that in society that yes, once it's 5 o'clock or whatever, whenever you finish, it's time to go. But there's a lot of expectant from businesses that you continue to work after hours, and that is what I'm hearing from the Bulldogs. So that is where the fight begins. There's some people that will do it, but others won't do it. They're going to like, no, I'm out of here. So that's creating a rift, obviously, in the club. And clearly there's something wrong with the club. And it's not just Cameron Ciraldo. It's been happening for a long time. This tough love might get them going next season, or tough love will blow Cameron Ciraldo out the window. And again, the Bulldogs are looking for another coach. It's going to be an interesting next season, because there's no excuse next season. They've got the strongest roster they've had in a long time, and when Dean Pay was coaching, they were playing better football. Even Mick Potter was playing better football. You could argue Trent Barrett, at times they were playing better football than they are this year. So Cameron Ciraldo needs a big off season and get this team firing. And Stephen Crichton coming, Salmon. Now a few utility players, Blake Taaffe, but yeah, outside of Crichton, they need another big fish. They need another good, decent prop, I think, is where they need to go. And the Bulldogs, if they can find it, there'll be more of a chance of getting back to finals football. Yes, Jared Warrior-Hargreaves got what he deserved. Another extra week off. I don't even know why he went to the judiciary. He was never going to get off. You hit him in the head, mate. As simple as that. And the headbutt was just, even though it was not much of a headbutt, like if you look at grades of headbutts, it's still a headbutt, but it wasn't much of a headbutt, but really from an experienced player. Unfortunately, he saw red, which obviously is in his DNA, and that was the end of the section for him, and end of his final series. And if the Roosters do get him, he won't be there playing. Josh Papali'i, yes, Josh Papali'i, he's out the door. See you later. Will they be the cost the Raiders a chance of even being in the finals? Because there's going to be some interesting thoughts here. but they might be helped by the selection of the Penrith team. There might be a few players rested, but it's not going to be as much as the other teams. So interesting move events around that, and we're going to talk about it right here, right now. We're going to talk about all these changes, absolute craziness in the resting players. I've never seen it ever, and this is the first year I've seen it from a lot of teams, just absolutely resting all their players. Well, not all their players, but most of their players. It's going to be an interesting tipping week for a lot of people. How is this going to go down? But anyway, let's go to Thursday. Yes, tomorrow, the Broncos versus the Storm. Who's going to get it done? Who do you think will do it? No Reynolds, no Walsh, no Farnworth, no Ezra Mann, no Kerrigan, no Billy Walters, Payne Haas, Kurt Capewell. The list goes on and on and on. One player they wanted to rest, Tom Flegler. He said, "No, I'm playing." So he's still playing. So it's good to see some new young players come in. And Tristan Sailor is a talent and back to fullback. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. In the Storm, I think it's more intriguing because I think this is a chance for some players to maybe possibly get back in the team. Okay, so no Welsh, no Meaney, no Seve, no Coates, no Grant, no Munster, no NAS, and there's so much more. There's too many to on the list. But to me, in terms of this game, you got Pappenhausen back at fullback, but Justin Olam, yes, Justin Olam and Remus Smith have got their opportunity to try and push themselves back into the team. It's probably not going to happen, but this is a very interesting game. I've got a funny feeling the Storm are going to win this now. I know the Broncos, with both of them all resting yesterday, I just look at the team overall. I just think Storm is stronger. I really do. The Broncos haven't been the Storm in a very long time, and I think that's going to continue. I think the Storm have a few players in and about their team, like bringing in someone like Justin Olam just comes in out of nowhere. I think they just got a bit more skill and maybe a stronger bench. That's the way I'm seeing it. I mean, I can see the Broncos winning, but I'm going to go the Storm in this one, just on what I'm seeing. Seagulls and Tigers, do anyone really care? Obviously, this is a bit of a grudge match for the North versus the West. Here, well, Tigers are not playing bad football, but I'm going to stick with Seagulls, and Seagulls get it done by 12 points for me. Rabbitohs Roosters, Friday night. This is the game of the round. No, well, it's not the only game. There's heaps of games in the round, but this is clearly the Sydney game in the round. Blake Taffin for Latrell Mitchell. Fletcher Baker has to take on Jerry Hargrave's shoes. This is a spine tickler. This is a do or die. The winner in, the loser out. Pretty much, there's a chance that the Roosters can win and not make it, but look at Penrith's selection, the Cowboys might be done and dusted for the season. So whoever wins out of Seagulls and Roosters, more likely are playing finals football. Rabbitohs is a guarantee. The Roosters depends on results. But basically, you've got to play it like this is you're going to make the finals. Yes, I've been toing and throwing all week. Go with the head, or go with the heart. Well, got to go with the heart, and I'm going the Rabbitohs. Yep. Rabbitohs by 6 points. This is going to be a tight match. Rabbitohs have had the wood over them for a while. But if you're going purely on current form, you would tip the Roosters every day of the week. But I'm not convinced they're playing that great. They are winning, where the Rabbitohs haven't been winning. And if the going gets tough, the tough get going. So it's going to be interesting, because Roosters were most people's favourites to win the comp at the start of the season. You could argue that these were two teams you're expecting to be in the grand final. Fighting to try and play Penrith in the grand final at the start of the year. But both of them, one of them is going to miss out. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But I'm going the Rabbitohs in this one. Dolphins, Warriors. Well, again, the mass changes of resting players continues here. Johnson, Harris, but they could be long-term. Metcalf as well, long-term. Nickel Clockstead, Fanua Blake. But this is what I called out yesterday. Wade Egan. Yes, they're all getting rested. Tamati Martin is back in the squad. And it's good timing against the Dolphins. This is an interesting game. You would say with all those players out, Dolphins should win. And probably they should. But I don't know if the Dolphins have much to play for and whether they really want to put the effort in with the Warriors players, all these young players, the Falkmans, Tuapikis and the likes are like, yes, got my chance to play. And you've got Mitchell Barnett and a few others starting. Like some players, Dylan Walker, haven't started for a while. So it's going to be an interesting game. Dolphins could blow them apart too. But I'm going to go to Warriors by 6 to keep the winning record going. But they're looking focused on next week's game. Penrith and the Cowboys, well, the Penrith going to rest players. We will find out after the Broncos game. If Broncos win, then maybe they will. But Penrith and Cowboys, I'm gonna have to pick Penrith just on the team they've named. If they all get rested, then the Cowboys are definitely a chance. But to me, Penrith, I think they wanted Cogger and Cleary to play to get their continuity, and I think they will play, but maybe a few others might get rested. But yeah, Panthers for me. Dragons, Knights, one of the Knights are another ones that are resting players. Ponga, Hastings, Crossland, Frizzell, and Gagai. I'd say Hastings will be back next week for the final. Same with Ponga, and the other 3 are fine. Dragons have been playing well, but I'd expect the Knights to get this done. And even with all of them resting, I still think they'll get it done comfortably. The Knights by 12. Titans and the Bulldogs, and again, it's probably only for their fans that really care about this game. But I'll go for the Titans at home. Bulldogs are really in trouble street. And Sharks and the Raiders, this is a big game. No resting here. Winner takes all. This was an interesting one. I was thinking the Raiders all this time, but I think the Sharks will get it done. But I would like Jared Croker to go out with finals football, and they might be reliant on some other teams to getting the job done. So it's gonna be an interesting finish here for these teams. There's danger points here for the Raiders. They have to win. If they lose, they might miss out. But anyway, that's the Barry Charles Footy Show. Have a lovely day out there.